The unnamed witness returns to court. Mr. Cooper asks again about lies she may have told to the police in the interviews. The unnamed witness agrees she told one lie about Tommy taking clothes. Tommy is referred to Thomas Cashman. The unnamed witness says, one lie. That was it. Only one lie. I was scared in what to say, says the unnamed witness. It was a very sticky situation. You said you didn't lie, said Mr. Cooper. I lied on one interview, which I'm omitting, about Tommy taking his clothes. I haven't changed no evidence, says the unnamed witness. You didn't hold anything back, says Mr. Cooper. I held back because I was very scared, yes. I held back. Not about the relationship, because I was never asked about the relationship. A lot of things I was saying, I can't really explain it. You said you didn't tell the police about any relationship with Cashman because he never asked you. Let's look at what they did ask you. Have you had any other relationship? You say no. Were you lying to the police? Says Mr. Cooper. No, says the unnamed witness. You chose not to tell them about Cashman, says Mr. Cooper. I didn't see the relevancy about telling them. It's about a 9-year-old girl. That's all I was bothered about. You lied here, says Mr. Cooper. No, I never, says the unnamed witness. The unnamed witness says she didn't see it relevant on mentioning Cashman. So, if you don't think something is relevant, will you lie? Mr. Cooper says. No. What's the relevance got to do with the relationship? Says the unnamed witness. The relevance is whether this jury can believe you in anything you say, says Mr. Cooper. That's fine, says the witness. I was petrified. I had no one behind me. They had hundreds of family members. Put me in a ring one, I'd do every fucking one of them. The witness is asked to wait for questions. Mr. Cooper suggests she lied to police about the nature of her relationship with Thomas Cashman. She says, Cashman done what he's done and he can't own it, love. I've got a lot of compassion. If I believe something, I'll fight it until my point has been heard. I wouldn't have mentioned the relationship at all if I was lying. It still makes you angry he was having sex with another woman, says Mr. Cooper. No, it doesn't piss me off, says the unnamed woman. You were revealing yourself for a split second then, says Mr. Cooper. I was actually angry for Kaylee, Cashman's partner. I've got girl code. Let's move on. Silly questions. You still can't explain to me why your defendant always came to my address. I was in a very, very vulnerable state at this time. Mr. Cooper quotes the woman in which she says in one of the interviews, it's just mutual friends. When we see each other, it's like, hi. It's none of that. Mr. Cooper says, was that a lie? No, says the unnamed witness. You were having a relationship, says Mr. Cooper. We wasn't at the time. At the time I was petrified. I was scared. I tried to hide the fact that me and Tommy had a relationship. I didn't want things to get out. If I say this, I'm going to have all this at my door. I'm petrified to mention it. When you were asked by the police about Tommy Cashman, you lied, said Mr. Cooper. Because I was scared. For the 20 millionth time, I'm not scared now. It's been 6 months. I don't think you realise what he's done to me or that family. Not one bit. I'm sorry, but it's a relevant question to ask. I never lied to the jury. I admitted I never told them, the police, about the clothes or the relationship. You didn't think we had this material, says Mr. Cooper. I did know, but to be perfectly honest, I couldn't care. Let's get to the good bit, says the unnamed witness. What on earth do you mean by the good bit, says Mr. Cooper. The relevant bit, we've been here for like 4 hours now and we still haven't spoke about this little girl. Good bits, says Mr. Cooper. Yeah, the like bits that are relevant to the case. Let's get to what happened on August the 22nd, says the unnamed witness. Mr. Cooper repeats, the good bits. Mr. Cooper is then reminded that she has just answered that question. I just answered that, do as you're told, says the unnamed witness. This is when the witness is then advised to take a deep breath and to calm down. Your client was obsessed with me. Obsessed. It doesn't agitate me, it just bores me that I'm speaking about this. I'm actually getting bored about speaking about this relationship. Mr. Cooper continues to ask the witness about questions where she lied about her relationship with Cashman in those police interviews. The witness says, I said to you on the first 2 interviews I never got asked about that. I was very unsure. I was very up and down. The interviews were very confusing for me the first couple of interviews. My solicitor intervened when I said he was just a friend. Mr. Cooper then quotes a section of her interview in which she says, have you ever had any sexual liaisons with him? In which she replied, no, 100%. I was petrified to say yes and to go out there and all that drama to come on my door. I was absolutely petrified, said the unnamed witness. I was just trying to get rid of the question. I didn't want to answer that question. I didn't want it out there. I didn't want that information out there. I felt like everything at the time, everything happened so fast. It was like, what am I supposed to do here? I didn't want it out there. I was scared. I was petrified. I didn't think I was going back to my own home ever again. You will lie when you think it suits you, says Mr. Cooper. That was for my own protection, says the unnamed witness. Cooper asked the witness about her relationship. I haven't been in a relationship. Can you stop saying relationship? It wasn't a relationship. Affair then, says Mr. Cooper. It wasn't an affair either. If you look up affair in the dictionary, it's like sneaking around and doing stuff together. We never sneaked around. He came to my house. I wasn't sneaking. I was in my own house. The only person sneaking was him. I'd call it a fling. Somewhere he came when he was bored, probably, weren't it? Says the unnamed witness. Did that hurt you? Says Mr. Cooper. No, I've just realised this now, says the unnamed witness. You thought that a long time ago, which fuelled your anger towards him, says Mr. Cooper. No, I've got no anger towards him, says the unnamed witness. Mr. Cooper starts to refer to Instagram messages between her and Cashman. One of the messages says they slept together in the kitchen. Another one says, along the lines of she would look out for Cashman while she was driving around the area. The unnamed witness says, I'd love to see if I could see him. I'd be left confused by him all the time. I wouldn't drive around, certainly not looking for him. I'd drive to my friend's house and on the way I'd have a nose around to see if I could see him. The unnamed witness says she was confused by Cashman in terms of not contacting her for periods after they had been together, which was some time, normally a couple of months or weeks. She says, coming and going for so many months, it was just strange the way he was. Mr. Cooper then asked her how she became obsessed with Cashman. The unnamed witness says, I was obsessed, yeah. I think it was just after we had sex the first time. Because I hadn't seen him for such a long time, I was head fucked. Mr. Cooper then asked her about her feelings towards Cashman at the time. She said, I valued Tommy's principles. I valued him as a man. He was true to his word. With me and him, it wasn't like that. We didn't have that connection when he come to see me every day. When he come to see me, he was there for me. He'd help anyone who needed help, and I'd always vouch for him for that. It would never have been able to have worked because of his family. He loved Kaylee at the end of the day. It would never have worked. We never spoke about us being together. Never. Mr. Cooper then starts to refer to a portion of her interview in which she said they had a little fondle. But his dick didn't work. You couldn't use it because he had smoked so much weed. The woman says she later blocked Cashman on Instagram. Supposedly she found out he was having an affair with a partner's friend. I put two and two together, he went with Kaylee's best friend. I blocked Tommy and no contact. I hadn't seen Tommy until August 22nd. The last time I seen Tommy was when we had sex. I then blocked Tommy on Instagram, so there was no way of him contacting me. I hadn't spoke to Tommy, I hadn't seen Tommy, says the unnamed witness. You still persist that you saw him on August the 22nd, says Mr. Cooper. He came to my property on August the 22nd. He woke me up, says the unnamed witness. I found out he was going with Kaylee's best friend. That's when I sent the text saying I wanted to ruin him, because she had a right to know. I blocked him because what I found out about Kaylee's best friend, says the unnamed woman. You blocked him because you thought he was going out with Kaylee's best friend, says Mr. Cooper. The girl confirmed it to me, hit the nail on the head. I was just doing homework. It all corresponded, says the unnamed witness. It still makes you very angry, says Mr. Cooper. It doesn't make me angry. It's just unnecessary questions, says the unnamed witness. Whatever the truth of it was, when you learned that that was just after you had sex with him, did that make you angry, says Mr. Cooper. It made me angry, but it was more he was doing that with Kaylee's best friend. Doesn't she have a right to know? She knows about all the others he's been with over the years and still took him back. I was very calm, says the unnamed witness. At the time you discovered the business and you wanted to ruin him, you were very calm, says Mr. Cooper. I wasn't pissed off like you would be. I wasn't angry. You'd know when I was angry, says the unnamed witness. If someone described you as hot-headed, would that be accurate, says Mr. Cooper. Oh yeah, there's just certain things I can bite my tongue with. Your client is hot-headed, as I am, let me tell you. I can calm myself down. You want revenge on the person who upset you, says Mr. Cooper. No, don't put words in my mouth, please, says the unnamed witness. When you get hot-headed, when you think you've been wronged, you will do what you can to make their lives as difficult as possible, says Mr. Cooper. No, says the unnamed witness.